Hello, everyone. Melinda Chapman with Daniels Real Estate and United Financial Freedom. I wanted to hop on here because I've got some exciting news and I wanted to talk a little bit about what is happening in the real estate industry, just so you, as buyers and sellers, will be even more educated than perhaps you already are. First of all, I have a huge announcement. As some of you may or may not know, I have been an independent contractor with United Financial Freedom. We're a 20-year-old debt to wealth company for the past little over 3 years and have basically just been a personal producer, been promoting this amazing financial GPS to basically anybody that'll listen to me. I have clients all over the country, for which I'm very thankful. I just recently got a promotion to executive director. This is something I've been striving for quite some time, and it's finally happened, and I'm super excited. It just means that's even more people I have an opportunity to help. I can build a team. I can help people that are looking to get out of debt, that are looking to make an extra stream of income. We're the only company out there, debt elimination company, where you can actually eliminate your debt and create wealth simultaneously. So if you're interested in learning more about our financial GPS that took me and my husband's 11-year mortgage to a 2.6-year payoff, saved us $18,000, I would love to share more information with you. And it does it in a way that you don't feel it. It does it in a way that does not require a change to your lifestyle or budget. And guys, I really believe anyone and everyone with debt, you need to know there's a better way. If you are just paying your payments even on time, doing the normal thing, just sending in your payments every single month, whether it's your mortgage, your auto loans, credit cards, whatever, you are following the bank's plan. And I want you to know they have the most expensive plan. The banks, everything they do is for their bottom line and for their benefit and their profit. I don't care how pretty of a package they try to wrap it up in, how pretty of a bow they try to tie it up in. Everything they do is for their benefit, and they make money using our money. Well, our system is extremely innovative and it has the highest available technology out there. It works on thousands of algorithms and lines of code, and it's constantly calculating, just like a GPS in your car, constantly calculating your fastest route to your destination. In this case, when it comes to debt, your fastest route to zero, and what is going to save you the most amount of interest. So we help people save as much as 75% of the interest that they otherwise would have given the banks. And I don't know if you've ever looked at your amortization schedules, or if you are a recent homeowner, you just purchased a new home, if you've looked at that amortization schedule and see how much interest in the first 1 to 10 years, particularly, you are giving the banks, you will be shocked. I mean, it put a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach when I understood this. This is something that I didn't know. This is something, frankly, the banks don't want us to know about. They want us just to keep making our normal payments or make that extra payment once a year, or maybe throw a little extra here and there, thinking that we're making some kind of a difference. And yes, that does make a difference. But I'm here to tell you, nothing compares to what our system can do. So if you're looking to eliminate your debt quickly, do it in a way that you don't feel it because it doesn't require a change to your lifestyle or budget, and literally keep tens of thousands, often hundreds of thousands of dollars in your pocket instead of the bank's pocket, you need to know about our system. We offer a complimentary analysis for everyone. And at the end of that analysis, you will discover your actual debt-free date, how much money the system saves you, and it also calculates your specific one-time cost of the system. So everything's laid out in front of you. You see your results, you see your cost, and you can make a decision if it makes sense for you to move forward or not. But I promise you, it is worth checking out. It is worth looking into. There's a reason mortgage means death pledge in Latin. It's not favorable to us consumers whatsoever. And it saddens me when I see many people my age or near retirement that have all this debt still hanging over their head. And they're like, we're never going to be able to retire because we still have a mortgage. We still have auto loans. We have credit card debt, whatever. And to think that you could potentially get out from underneath that in as little as 5 to 7 years, it's definitely worth checking out. And I'm going to speak a little deeper and maybe to my realtor friends and mortgage lender friends out there. but everyone's tripping over the interest rates, right? Buyers don't want to buy because the interest rates are high. Sellers that refinanced a few years ago and have the interest rate of twos and threes, they don't want to go anywhere because they know if they purchase, they're going to have to get into a higher interest rate. But here's something else the banks don't want us to know, guys. The banks want us to focus on what they want us to focus on. And in this case, it is the interest rate, it is the monthly payment. Think about when you go to buy a car, what's one of the first things they ask you? Well, what kind of monthly payment are you looking for? Not how much money do you want to spend, how much debt do you want to incur, but what kind of monthly payment? Because if we feel like we can, if the rate is right and we feel like we can afford that monthly payment, then we oftentimes assume the debt and we don't really know how much debt we've actually taken on or how much interest. I would argue with anyone, interest is our most expensive debt, not the mortgage itself, but it's the amount of interest that we pay within that mortgage. And I'm here to tell you, because some of you, I know, I see your wheels turning and I know you're thinking, well, Melinda, I've got a 3% interest rate. That's the cheapest money I'll ever borrow. It isn't. The banks want you to think that you are paying a 3% interest rate, but the only way it will ever equal out to 3% is when you get to the end of that 30-year term. So if you take on a mortgage and you pay it off 30 years, you never refinance, you don't modify the loan whatsoever, yes, it will eventually equal out to that 3%. But here's what the banks don't want us to know, and they've done their homework. They know that the average homeowner is either going to sell or refinance in the first 1 to 10 years. So because of that, they front end load these loans with interest, meaning they want the majority of their profit up front. So if you sell a house, well, you're probably going to have to buy another one, right? You have to have a place to live. You're going to start that 30-year mortgage all over again. You're going to pay all that front end loaded interest. But what about the refinance, which is another thing the banks want us to think that is the end all be all. Go ahead and buy that house at the 7% interest rate, and you can always refinance, 3, 5 years later when the rates come down. That's what they want us to do. That's what they count on us doing, guys. That's how they stay in profit mode. Think about it. You're in a house 5 years and all of a sudden rates drop and you might get a couple $100 off your mortgage payment because that rate dropped. That's really what that rate determines, is the size of your mortgage payment. So say the rates dropped and you're going to save a few $100s on that mortgage payment, but you're already 5 years into that mortgage. I want you to stop and think that you've been paying 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90% interest volume those first 5 years. And now you're going to reset that 30-year clock to save maybe a percentage on your interest rate, to save maybe a couple $100s on that mortgage payment. But you're going to start that 30-year clock all over again, and you're going to pay that front end loaded interest all over again. This is how the banks stay in profit mode. Most of the time, refinancing is not in our best interest. And I can show you that. I can show you that. Sometimes it is. I'm not going to say it's a complete 100% never ever, but most of the time it's not in our best interest. But that's what the banks try to sell us on. They want us to refinance. So we're starting all over again and we're giving them all that front end loaded interest all over again. That's where we come in. Clients that use our system, I hope you're sitting down and I hope you're bracing yourself for this. Clients who use our system pay what we call a net effective interest rate of well below 3%. It's often under 2. And guys, I've even seen it under 1. So I don't care if interest rates drop. I promise you, we're never going to get down to where we were several years ago. We're never going to go back to the 2s and 3s. But people that use our system, that's effectively what they're paying on their mortgage, their auto loans, their student loans, their credit cards, personal loans. I don't care what kind of debt you have. That's your net effective interest rate due to the interest cancellation that the system provides. So you need to check this out. Yes, I'm 100% super passionate about this because I'm the type of person that if I think there's something out there that's one, it's benefited me and my husband, but can benefit other people, I will shout it from the rooftops. You need to know about it. You need to know there's a better way. You don't have to just be in debt literally the rest of your life. There's nothing like debt freedom. There's nothing like being able to keep all of that money that you send out every single month in the form of debt payments. Think about what it would be like when you no longer have to send that money out and you get to keep it. Well, what do you do with it? Well, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but we are a debt to wealth company. We want to show you how you can create wealth for you and for your kids and for your kids' kids. So I encourage you, check me out. My phone number, 317-797-3136. My email, makeyourmovewithmelinda@gmail.com. You can go to my website, melinda.mymoneymaxaccount.com for more information, but I encourage you, check it out, check it out. So now I'm going to put on my realtor hat. By the way, I am your faith over fear realtor, and I am your full concierge realtor. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, my faith comes first. So Jesus Christ is my identity. I'm not ashamed to say that. He's the reason behind everything that I do. I try to treat others the way I want to be treated. So I like to incorporate that in my business as well. And so I say all of this to say this. If you are looking to buy or sell, or if you're on the fence and you think, I don't know that this is a good time, guys, there's never been a better time, especially when you have someone like me who can show you how you can get out from underneath that mortgage and any other debt in a fraction of the time. That's a huge value add that I'm able to offer you as a realtor. So I would ask you, what criteria, upon what criteria do you base choosing a realtor? Are they a family friend? Is it someone that you've just heard their name a lot and you think, oh yeah, they're going to do an amazing job? I mean, what have they really done to earn your business? Well, I want to tell you, I am a full concierge realtor, meaning if you're a first-time home buyer, I'm going to walk you through from point A to point Z. I'm going to help you find a lender. I'm going to help you get pre-approved. We're going to do baby steps through every step of the process. And I love working with first-time home buyers because there's nothing more exciting and more fulfilling than seeing, a young person or a young couple be able to literally get into the American dream. But that American dream can be stifling if you've got all this debt hanging over your head. So let me show you a way that you can truly get out from underneath it. Debt is not the American dream. The American dream is being able to do what you want, when you want, to have the time, to have the money and the resources to be able to do those things. And I have a way to show you how you can achieve that. It's worked for my husband and I. We've got 100,000 clients almost in the US that we've helped pay off $2.7 billion of principal debt. We currently have about 9.2 billion under debt management. So this is not our first rodeo. We're a 20-year-old company. We've been around a long time, and we have the one and only financial GPS. So getting back to real estate, big changes are taking place. As of actually 2 days, August 17th, it is official. No longer are we able to advertise on, excuse me, on our listings what commission can be paid to the buyer agent. So we've always been a cooperative. The agreement or the contract has been between the home seller and the listing agent. And they will agree at 5% or 6%. And then the listing agent would co-op or share part of that commission with the buyer agent. And we've always been freely able to advertise that. The onus of paying those realtor fees has always kind of fallen on the seller. Not that it was required. It was never, ever required. It's always been optional, but that's just always been a standard practice, is that the sellers pay not only the listing agent commission, but also the buyer agent commission. Well, that hasn't changed because it was never required before. It's not required now. And it doesn't mean that all of a sudden sellers are off the hook. Yes, they don't have to pay that buyer agent commission, but I'm telling you, if you are someone looking to sell your home, you want a realtor who's going to advise you in so many different areas of how that home can get sold quickly for the maximum dollar. And I'm telling you, if you decide, oh, I'm not going to offer a buyer agent commission because now I don't have to, I want you to know that's really going to limit your pool of buyers, because trust me, not all realtors, not all real estate agents are the same. And unfortunately, there's some out there that are going to inquire, is your seller paying a buyer agency commission? And if they're told no, well, all of a sudden they may not take a buyer to go look at your house. I hate to say that, but it's true. Heaven forbid if you're one of those realtors that would do something like that, that is totally breaking our code of ethics. But I'm telling you, there's probably some out there that would do that. It's just going to really limit how many buyers are going to be interested in your home if their buyer agent isn't going to get paid by the seller. Flip side is the buyer agent has to get paid something. So now they're required to sign a contract with the buyer before they can even go show you a house. A contract has to be signed. It could be a 1-day contract for that one house only. It could be a week-long contract, a month, 3 months, 6 months, however long you want to make it. But a contract is required that you, as the buyer, agree to pay your buyer agent X amount, you know, 2%, 3%, whatever. And then if the seller agent or the seller isn't willing to pay that buyer agency commission, then obviously that's going to fall on the buyer to be able to pay that buyer agency commission. If we're really smart realtors, we are going to educate our sellers that it's in the best interest that they continue to offer a buyer agency commission. The only caveat now is we can't advertise that. So that we have to come up with other ways to figure out how we can communicate that to the buyer agents that we, as the sellers or the listing agent, are offering a buyer agency commission. So I just want you to know big changes are happening. It doesn't have to be big though. I mean, honestly, we've always had listing contracts between the seller and the listing agent, and the buyer agency contracts have always existed too. It's just a lot of buyer agents have chosen not to use a contract when working with a buyer. Some make it a common practice, others don't. Now it's absolutely required. So please don't get upset with your real estate agent if you call them up and say, hey, I want to go look at this house. They're going to say to you, okay, well, I need to sign an agreement with you. We need to go under contract in order to do this. They absolutely cannot show you that house unless you sign a contract with them. So I wanted to just kind of walk you through that a little bit. It doesn't have to be any big major changes, but they are changes, and they're more so on our side, but it's also the onus of us as realtors to educate you a seller or you a buyer on what those changes are and what we have to do on our end in order to keep things legit and be able to move forward with you. So if you have any questions, if you just want to chat about, is this a good time to buy or sell? I'm just telling you, stop waiting on the interest rates, guys. I mean, seriously, I can show you how the interest rate really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you still got to qualify for whatever that rate is, which means when the rates are high, you're going to have a higher monthly payment. But if you can swing that higher monthly payment, I can show you how you can get everything paid off in a fraction of the time and keep a ton of money in your pocket. So once again, my name is Melinda Chapman. I'm a realtor with Daniels Real Estate. I am your faith over fear realtor. I'm your full concierge realtor. And I'm also now an executive director with United Financial Freedom. Reach out and let's have a conversation. Take care and God bless.